visuals, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another edition of Pokemon Thursday, the day of the week we like to talk about my days of starting to play baseball. I could not fucking for the life of me. I don't understand how such a small thin bat, you can aim it and hit that ball. I mean, I was bad at rounders, and sometimes at fucking rounders, I'm sure we used a tennis racket. And I was still shit at that. We're not really, though. We're here to talk about Pokemon, but more importantly, we're here, well, more specifically, I should say, to give another comic book character a Pokemon team. Now, I'm being a little bit loose with the term comic book character. This is more technically anime/manga character, a character we've seen in plenty of mangas. To the best of my knowledge, someone please correct me in the comments below. I could easily Google it and I just have them. I don't think we've ever had a Dragon Ball Z or a Dragon Ball or whatever comic book, but mangas aren't too million miles away from a comic book. The way they read out and the way, you know, the panels and the text bubbles and all that kind of shit. Maybe it's a stretch to class them in the same umbrella as comic books. I don't know. I don't know if that's a debate for people to have or whatnot. I am, though, just so I can try and potentially bend the rules to give this person a Pokemon team, because I haven't done it yet. And I feel like I should have done it a long time ago, because they definitely deserve a Pokemon team and they can make a really cool Pokemon team. So, ready visuals, the big reveal. The fucking reveal's already done. It's in the thumbnail and the title. Not that it's any surprise or news. We're here to give Goku, aka Kakarot, his very own Pokemon team. Goku being such an iconic, legendary character. Full stop. Not just anime, not just manga. There's so many people around the world representing Super Saiyan, training to go Super Saiyan, over 9,000, anything Dragon Ball. People know. We've seen like Ronda Rousey rock up to WrestleMania a few years back representing Dragon Ball. People like, as much as I don't like them, but like KSI and shit having Dragon Ball inspired artwork, or other creators with Dragon Ball figures. It fuck me, there's an ASMR thing that I've watched before. A guy cleaning shoes and he's got a Goku figure just chilling there. He's such an iconic, legendary character. And the world of Dragon Ball itself is just such legendary and iconic. I had to give Goku his very own Pokemon team. So let me know if I'm bending the rules too much, because the rules were simply, if they've been in a comic book, whether it's been once, one panel, whatever, they can get a Pokemon team. Have I bent the rules a bit too much there? Have I bent it to my own will? Let me know if I broke it. But more importantly as well, give me your teams. I know a lot of you watching, James definitely, you will be massive fans of Goku and stuff like that, and you'll be able to make your own amazing, awesome teams for this legendary, iconic character. So I cannot wait to hear who you give Goku for a Pokemon team. Get them down in the comments below. But let's sit back, let's relax, and let's find out who I give Goku. Well, two of them will already be in the thumbnail, but who did I give Goku for his own Pokemon team? I've worded that all wrong there. Visuals, here we go. Goku's very own Pokemon team. And kicking things off, this is an obvious one. I think a lot of these, to be fair, are actually quite obvious. I've gone for Snorlax. What does Snorlax love to do? Sleep and eat. What does Goku love to do? Sleep and eat. Plus, when Goku turns it on, super powerful, fucking out of this world being, just ready to smash it up. And Snorlax, in his own right, when he wants to turn it on, can be an unstoppable juggernaut powerhouse. Plus, I think it'd be quite cool to see them train together. You know, Goku in his base form, just looking at Snorlax, being like, what the fuck? Trying to punch it, maybe bounce it off. And Snorlax like, ha ha ha. Snorlax can start chucking in some Z moves, or start getting some big boy and growing a tree out of his belly and being in his big boy, gigantic Dynamax form, fucking whichever way of saying it, and just being fucking awesome. Seeing them two pair up, I think just too similarly, it just works. We could see many a image now of Goku after a long day of training, or a big battle with whoever he's trained against or fought against, whether it's Broly, whether it's Jiren, whoever the hell he's scrapped up against, and he's just chilling, resting up against Snorlax. They're both sleeping. There's just empty food cartons everywhere, and plus you can also have a little bit of comedic stuff in there. You know, Goku, Snorlax not traditionally being very quick or whatever, but there might be one last little bit of sushi left, or a cake, or a pudding, or this, or a big bit of meat, and they're both sort of looking at it, but Snorlax all of a sudden gets this unbelievable burst of speed and just races Goku to it, and they're like, oh, that's my last little bit. I think the two would just play off together. You could also have Goku Snorlax being very inappropriate, coming out of his Pokeball at the wrong times, or, you know, inside of Goku's house, like, oh, it's too cramped in here, Snorlax. So, you know, you could see loads of things happening, or Vegeta sort of just looking at them both like, oh, Kakarot and his puny Snorlax, or his, you know, fat and lazy Snorlax. You could just sort of see a little comedic dynamic sort of being formed there. So Snorlax is his first mon. Lucario, and this Lucario will be Mega Evolving. You know, Goku in his own weird way Mega Evolves, I guess, into Super Saiyan God, all that kind of shit. Lucario being able to just Mega Evolve, but just the once. But I had to include a fighting type in this. And it wasn't specifically, you know, Lucario, just a fighting type, away we go. But it's Lucario, and there are other fighting types that are like this, but it's Lucario's love to want to train, to fight, to get better, to get stronger, to get more powerful. Even the way he's doing like his aura spheres and shit, it's very similar. You know, you could Kamehameha, aura sphere and all this kind of stuff. But Goku also loves to fight, loves to train, loves to get stronger, wants to accept the next challenge. And you could see Lucario just and Goku pushing each other along. They both want the same end goal. And maybe Goku helps Lucario go past a further point of Mega evolution. Maybe there's a Mega Super Saiyan Lucario out there in the multiverse where he goes a bit golden and all this kind of shit. You could just see them two playing off. And again, you could see maybe in this particular version in the multiverse, there's a young Goku who bumps into a young Riolu in the forest or in the trees or wherever. In the trees, in the clearing in the forest, just training and fighting. And Goku be like, "Hey, you want to train? Let's train together." And then boom, and away they go. And he ends up, "Hey, you should come with me." And he captures him and makes him part of his team, and they grow up together and shit. You could see it as a perfect partnership of wanting to train, wanting to fight, always ready to fight as well, ready no matter what the odds, no matter who the opponent, just ready to fucking get out up at it and scrap. So we've gone for Lucario, but also, like I said, Mega Lucario. Right, Psyduck. Now, Psyduck might be a bit of a weird and obscure one. Sort of like, okay, what would Goku have with a Psyduck? Part of Goku's side that I love, yes, he can be this fearsome, badass, powerful, intimidating, scary at times warrior. But it's also the immaturity that comes with Goku. There's an immature side to him, with him just sort of being like, forgetting that he's this badass, powerful warrior or a father or a husband. He's just sort of like, hey, I'm Goku, going around doing his thing, being a bit silly and whatnot. And I like the idea of one day this small little Goku again, kind of like Riolu, but just in one of this beautiful little parts of where Goku comes from. You know, there's a river or whatever, and he just sees a Psyduck just sat there, just sort of being a weirdo itself, and little Goku sat there going, "Oh, this is fantastic, isn't it?" And just having some sort of weird conversation, some sort of weird thing. And then Psyduck's psychic ability or this migraine shit going off, and Goku be like, "What the fuck? That's crazy." And just having more of these weird things just sort of flow together, and both sort of being immature. Or once again, just think about like with Snorlax coming out at the most inappropriate times. Goku sat there ready to rock up against, I don't know, maybe he's training against Vegeta, and Vegeta sends out one of his mons, like super duper powerful. Not that this is the answer, because we haven't done a team for him yet, but just say we give Vegeta a Garchomp, and then he's like, "Okay, who are you going to train with?" And then Goku's like, "Come on, Lucario, Psyduck." Kind of like Misty's one, just rocks him. He's like, "That's fine." And like Goku's like, "Well, okay, it's Psyduck, it is." And they start scrapping from there. They start fighting from there. And I like the immature partnership. Next one is Drampa. I definitely wanted to include a dragon in there. Not just to honor and sort of like Lord Shenron, the Dragon Balls, blah, 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 because you could say, well, Rayquaza and whatnot. I wanted to go for a dragon because dragons always feel synonymous with that kind of world and stuff anyway. I wanted to go for a dragon that kind of felt a bit more personal to Goku, so I went for Drampa. We know that Goku was brought up by his, not actual, but his Earth grandpa, Son Gohan. He brought him up, and of course we know that the 4-star Dragon Ball and all that kind of stuff. And I could just see this wise and quite ancient Drampa going around the wilderness somewhere, and maybe Goku sees it as this spirit or the embodiment, or just a thing that reminds him of his grandpa, this person that brought him up and loved him and, you know, showed him different ways and this and looked after him and shit like that. I just think it'd be quite a nice little sentimental thing for Goku, and a nice little emotional thing for him. I just think, again, that works really well. There's honouring bits of his past and his upbringing and all that kind of stuff. I had to do a dragon, Drampa. It all plays out perfectly for me with Drampa. Next up, it's a bit on the nose, but I've gone for Pikachu. Purely because, again, I'm looking more towards Goku's attitude and Goku's kind of spirit. And if we're thinking more, I guess, Ash's Pikachu, but I've always seen Pikachu, again, I'm thinking more Ash's, has this sort of like never give up spirit, this never give up mentality. And I'm going back to like where we see Ash eventually beat Leon, and sort of Pikachu getting the Ash's old teams and getting them ready to crack on and continue this fight against Charizard. But we've seen Goku down before and sort of thinking of his friends and his family and Piccolo and Krillin and all this kind of shit, Vegeta and Bulma, and seeing all this kind of Chi-Chi and seeing all this stuff in his head, and they're both sort there, this never give up attitude. Plus, the face of a franchise and the face of another franchise, both have mangas, both have animes, you know, both hailing from Japan and stuff. I think that putting the mascot and the mascot together, you know, again, we can have Pikachu do a Z move, Dynamax, whatever. But this never sort of give up spirit. Goku sat there, you know, he's down, he's thingied, and Pikachu might be down, but maybe Goku gets up and he thinks he's on his own, but Pikachu gets itself up, dusts itself down, stands next to him, and maybe a certain theme tune rocks them together. They give each other a look, and they're ready to rock and roll. And I just think that's fucking awesome. Plus, I think Goku would maybe, and it's kind of the same with the second pick as well, I think Goku would find something, maybe not intriguing, but insightful or maybe inspiring about this Pokemon. Again, just more specifically Ash's Pikachu, because in this world, we've given him Ash's Pikachu. Maybe Ash has died or whatever. Sorry, Ash. That he find the power in this creature that can get more powerful by evolving, but chooses not to, and chooses to get more powerful with the way it is and how it is and all that kind of shit. I think Goku would maybe like that and be like, do you know what? I'm going to try and get to the next level without even going to the next level, just keeping it all in a regular standard form. I keep burping today. So I think Pikachu's a really cool shout. And next up, we've gone for Bulbasaur. Now, there's not so much in terms of typing or Bulbasaur's, you know, abilities of Vine Whips and all that kind of shit. Nothing really matches. But I love the idea that again, I'm going with Ash's Bulbasaur here. So I am maybe clutching at straws a little bit. But I like the Bulbasaur that Ash leaves at Professor Oak's labs, a bit of a protector, a bit of a bodyguard, a bit of a stopping fights and conflicts and, you know, stop this now and looking after everybody and shit. And we know that Goku is definitely, yes, he lacks some ways of being a father, but he is ultimately a protector. I always, you know, it will never forget me the whole thing against Lord Beerus. I would not let you destroy my world. And this sort of protect attitude. And I think he could see a bit of himself inside of Bulbasaur. And again, kind of pinching with the Pikachu thing, not wanting to evolve. We know Ash's one didn't want to evolve and all that kind of stuff. And Ash's Bulbasaur being a bit of a badass in his own right and stuff. I could see this sort of protector of Bulbasaur teaming up with Goku. But instead of maybe going side by side with him, it will be Bulbasaur protects, you know, because again, in this world, other villains in the world of Dragon Ball will have their own Pokemon team. So Frieza comes down with his own team and he chucks out a Pokemon. He's like, Bulbasaur, I need you to protect, you know, a very injured Krillin or whatever from Frieza's fucking Jolteon. I don't know why Frieza's got a Jolteon, just random selection. I need you to protect that, and he help him be his little sort of protector. He doesn't have to necessarily just worry about his injured mates. He can, you know, okay, rest assured, Bulbasaur's there protecting, doing its thing. Me and Lucario are going to go after this, or going to go after that, or whatever. And I just think it's a team dynamic that, again, that works. The spirit, a lot of Goku's characteristics and traits come from his inner spirit and who he is as a protector, as a warrior, as a fighter, as all that kind of stuff. It's not so much shit that he's done or stuff that he said or how he looks. It comes from this thing within inside of him. And I think the thing within inside of Bulbasaur, maybe not to the extent or the level, is the same sort of thing that resides inside of Goku a little bit. Again, maybe I'm clutching at straws, but yeah, Bulbasaur. There we have it, visuals. My team for Goku, aka Kakarot, but please let me know yours in the comments below. Hopefully they're displayed down there. Sorry as well, I couldn't find any half-decent sprites or little gifs of them. They're all like, most of them are pixelated and all that kind of shit. So I do apologise. It probably looks like a clunky, pixelated mess throughout this video and down here and stuff. But what do you think of the team? And I personally, I really like the Pokemon I've selected for them. Like I said, I've gone more for the Goku within his spirit, is, you know, who he is and what makes him him and all that kind of stuff. Plus some silly ones with his immaturity and Psyduck and his love to eat and have a nap and all that kind of shit with Snorlax and shit. But I think I've made a really, really fun team there. And plus visually, I can see all of them. Like if you close your eyes and imagine Goku, okay, Lucario there. Okay, a little Psyduck, a Pikachu, a Bulbasaur, a Snorlax, and who the fuck have I missed? Who have I missed? Drampa, I could see them all surrounding him, being near him, and all that kind of shit. There are some other choices. I could have mentioned something to do with like the Nimbus Cloud, or I could, you know, represent the different stages of a Saiyan or his family that you know, sent him away from Planet Vegeta. Maybe someone to reflect his villains. Or Lord Shenron, or the Dragon Balls themselves, you know, like a Four Links, because they're a collection of like little ball things. Or there is other shit I could have gone, but I cannot wait to hear what your teams are. there we go, visuals. My team for Goku. Please let me know yours in the comments below. You know, let me know what you think of my team in general. But more importantly, another Pokemon Thursday done. I don't know who we've got one for next week, haven't we? I don't know who have I got next week. I've definitely. We're doing Super Mario next week for next week's Pokemon Thursday. So after that, let me know who you want up next for Pokemon Thursday and what team you want going forward and all that kind of shit. But more importantly, visuals. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are literally the fucking best. Always keep being you and keep on keeping on.